Hello and welcome to Learning from Lauren. I am Lauren, your host, and today we are talking about what happens if you don't know the answer and you're a travel agent and you need to find out the answer. So, that is a hard one because people are going to come to you and ask you different questions, and you are not always going to know the answer. So, there are some strategies that you can do to better help you. I am Lauren, I'm your host, and I am a teacher of 21 years, and I am a travel advisor. And I love helping people figure out if they should become a travel agent, travel advisor, and if you should what are the things that you need to do along the way to better help yourself to become the best travel agent you can be? I'm a teacher. When I became a travel agent, I saw there were a lot of holes in the programs that agencies had, and that there's nothing out there that is agent run. Everything that's out there is agency owners telling you what you need to know. But I think that peer to peer relationship is so important that you understand that everyone is not perfect. Everyone doesn't have all the answers. Everyone doesn't know everything. So don't think like that. You can be a fantastic agent, and as long as you focus your time correctly, you'll be an awesome agent. So, when a client comes to you and they ask you a question, or even when you are maybe starting out and they're a potential client and they ask you a question you don't know, let's talk about if it's a potential client. And let's say they say, like, oh, what time does Yosemite open every morning? And you don't know the answer. You don't want to say, like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's not a great response. You can say, like, oh, what time of year are you planning on going to? And they might be like, oh, like tomorrow. Like, what time do they open tomorrow? And you could say, I don't have that all memorized for you, but for my for people that booked through me, I have that all set up for them so that they know, because the schedule isn't always the same, and it depends on where you want to get into and how you want to book that type of vacation. Are you planning on staying in Yosemite, or are you planning on staying out of Yosemite? And you want to try, and you don't have to have the answer. Like, I didn't have the answer. I don't know anything about Yosemite. Okay. Like, I know nothing about it. And I just had a whole conversation about it that made me sound like, wow, she really knows about Yosemite. Like, wow, okay. Maybe you don't, but um, I just came back with more questions and things like that. And I tried to focus on, like, what I do for the people that I'm traveling that have booked through me, because that does make a difference also. So you want to make sure that you don't want to ever answer with, I don't know. You just want to say, like, well, I'm not sure about tomorrow, but I do know that they typically open at, 7 a.m., but you want to make sure to get there early. But if you need help with that, just let me know, because there's a lot of tips and tricks with that. Even if you don't know what the tips and tricks are. And if they come back and say, like, well, what are the tips and tricks? You can say, yeah, it's something that I share with my clients. I don't just put it out there. Just like a lawyer would not give you free advice, I can only help you with advice if you've booked with me, because I have to make sure that I'm covering myself for my agency. So those are ways that you can work it in and see if you don't know the answer. Now, let's say someone emails you, like a client. They've already booked with you and they ask you a question. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. There are different ways that you can respond to this. You can say, like, you can email them not immediately, but maybe like in an hour, just say, I will get back to you with this information. I am double checking with the vendor to make sure that that the policy that I believe is true is still true for when your travel dates are. It's okay to tell people you are going to get back to them. When people email you as a travel advisor, especially, I don't want to say they're looking for speed, but they want to make sure that if they contact you, that you email them back. It's okay to say, I don't have the answer right now and I'm getting back to you, because you want to check with the vendor. That's showing that you want to make sure you're getting the right answer. And it's totally fine to call that vendor and be like, hey, what time does the pool close on Thursday, October 12th? And they will tell you, because that information is important to that client. So you want to get it to them, but it might not be available online, and they probably already looked online. So the information that they're asking is stuff that they can't readily find online. And the more and more that you work with the same vendor, you'll be able to find certain information. You'll be able to know certain information. You'll be able to know what people want to ask you so that you'll have that information. But that don't be afraid to call the vendor and ask them. I have called many vendors asking them the same stuff over and over again, just to make sure, because I don't always trust everyone that I get on the phone with. So sometimes I even have to call back. And then once I have that information, then I can email the client back. But if you're not going to be able to quickly respond back, like within an hour, then you do want to email them within that hour saying, and it doesn't have to be within an hour if they're, emailing you at 2 a.m. But you really want to say, like, I'll let you know tomorrow. I am working on some stuff, and that vendor is getting back to me on that information. I want to make sure it's correct. No one's going to be mad that you're trying to find the correct information. You don't want to just spout something out, and you don't want to tell someone a rumor. So with COVID, COVID testing and all that stuff, we have no idea when it's going to end. We have no idea how it's going to work, especially with cruise lines and all that stuff. So you don't want to give speculation to clients. You want to make sure that you're telling them the truth and that this is the current policy. You don't know when it will change, and you don't know any more information. And that is okay to say too, that you don't know. That is an okay situation when they're asking when something's going to open up and you have no idea and the vendor doesn't have information on it. You can just say, like, I have checked with Royal Caribbean and they do not know when that is going to open up again. That is absolutely fine to say. You don't need to have a finite answer for everything, because there isn't one. I specialize in Disney. Disney used to have a dining plan. We get asked, every travel agent that works for Disney or works as a Disney travel agent, a travel agent that specializes in Disney. Sorry, I said all the wrong things there. Don't say any of those things. Just say you're a travel agent that specializes in Disney. You are not a Disney travel agent. You are not anything else like that. I got so off topic. But anyways, for the dining plan, we don't know when it's coming back. And they had given us information last year at this time that it was coming back, and it's still not back. So we have an inkling of a feeling, but all I tell my clients is that it's not available now. We don't know when it's coming back. And we should wait for all the restaurants to open up at Disney again before we can talk about even the likelihood of a dining plan. I don't give them a date. I don't give them any more information. Sometimes I will copy and paste what Disney has straight from the website to show people so that they know that, yes, Disney has the same policy. I don't have any insider information. I can 100% guarantee that when the dining plan comes back for Disney, every person will have it posted and everyone will know. So that's just, it is what it is. So don't be afraid to take a minute and get back to people. That's all I can say. So hopefully this video helped you. If you need help becoming a travel agent or are thinking about becoming a travel agent, I do have a course below if you have any interest, and check it out. And I will see you next time on Learning from Lauren.